No Man's Sky Expeditions has been out for a little over a year now, and in that time, we've received 7 expeditions to run. Now, for those new players or returning players who may have missed some of these expeditions, in this video, I'm going to go through all 7 of them that we've had to date, with Expedition 7 currently still running at time of recording. And I'm gonna show you what all the rewards were for each expedition so you could see what you missed. And I'm also gonna tell you what I thought about each expedition. So make sure you watch this one to the end so you can see which one I like best. Now let's get into this. Okay, so the first expedition, the name of the update was Expedition, so nobody really knew what that meant or what to expect. So it was just called Expeditions was the name of the update, and there was one expedition in here. This was the first one here. So this expedition was pretty straightforward. I mean, initially when I saw it, when it first came out, I was a little disappointed because I was like, what is this? It's just a bunch of stuff I've already done before. I got to just do it again. So, but once I got into it, I kind of liked having that fresh start and, you know, doing all these things again that I hadn't done in a long time. So the first expedition I liked quite a bit, and I ran it a few times. So the rewards for this expedition were pretty good. There was a streamlined jetpack unit. Now this thing I thought looked really cool. Now with the capes you can't really see it that much, but it didn't do anything special. It was just a different look for your jetpack. So that was pretty cool. The big prize, the gold vector ship. Now for everybody, a lot of people ask about this ship. You can't get it now because the expedition's over, although there may be a way. I mean, there are ways to get it. But just so you know, this ship isn't anything super special. Really, where this ship shines is the fact that you can collect it on each new save you make. So every time a new expedition comes out, you can claim this ship straight away so you can have like an awesome S-Class ship right from the beginning. Now for Expedition 2, we got Beachhead, which the main prize right there was the Normandy frigate, which is incredibly similar to the Leviathan frigate that we just got in Expedition 7. Now it's a special frigate. You can run missions from your freighter with it, but aside from that, it really doesn't do much. You can't land on it, you can't fly it, you can't go inside of it or anything like that. Now this expedition was very short. It was actually, they used community research to make it last a little longer. When this one came out, they only gave us 2 weeks to do it, but it could be done like in a couple hours by pretty much everybody without even having to speed run it. The only thing that held it up was it had 2 milestones towards the end, 2 or 3 milestones towards the end that were blocked by community research. So those of us who made it to that point just had to wait until that unlocked to finish it. So Beachhead here, that gave us the Normandy frigate. This was not my favorite expedition. It was alright, but again, it was really short. The reward was the Normandy. To me, that's kind of meh. And yeah, so not my favorite. Next up, we had Expedition 3, the Cartographers. Now, from what I remember liking this one quite a bit. This one was a little bit different because the majority of the expedition took place on one planet. It wasn't like most of them where one of the first things you have to do is fix your ship and fly off the planet. This one required you to do a lot of stuff on the planet in order to fix your ship. So it was I liked this one. It was a fun one. The prizes are meh. So the prizes were like the cave creeper, so a building part, which was cool. The holographic chart projector, another great building part. The jetpack bubble trail, it's kind of whatever. This, I guess, would be considered the big pet, the whispering companion egg. So this guy, but he's not that great of a pet. He's all right. I mean, I guess to have, but nothing that special. And then you had decals, titles, and a couple more little building parts here. But that was about it for the third one. I mean, the big prize was the Whispering companion egg. But this was a pretty fun expedition overall. So I would say that this one was good. So next up, they gave us Emergence. Now, this expedition, to me, was super fun. It involved sandworms and lots of sandworms, including these new Titan worm burrows where you had to fight back these sandworms that were coming out of the ground. They were just super, super cool. So I thoroughly enjoyed this one. This was one that I did speed runs of, and I played it probably, I don't know, multiple times. There's one of those worm hives, and the flying worm was the big reward for this one. But this was a really great expedition. It might have been my favorite. I don't know. There was just something about this one. It really had a feel to it, a really cool vibe, and the Titan worm burrows were just amazing. So the Emergence rewards were this mask, a rideable sandworm, another jetpack. This one kind of looks a little disgusting, but I don't know. Some people might like it. The Titanic Trophy. This is actually a very good building part. You can use it in a lot of ways. It has like a cool lighting effect to it, so it's cool. And then some new fireworks, and yeah, those were the rewards for that one. But that was a very fun expedition. Now, I quickly wanted to touch on this before we move on to the next expedition. November 24th, 2021. So like I said, but towards the end of the year, they released Expeditions Revisited. So we had 2 weeks for the first 4 expeditions, so you could rerun them if you had missed them the first time. Now, are they going to do this again this year? I would probably guess they will. I just don't know if it's going to include all the expeditions or just the ones from this year. I just wanted to mention that to anybody who's upset they didn't get the rewards. There could be a chance you could get them. Next up, we have Expedition 5. Now, this one was released along with the Sentinel update. It was called Exobiology. Now, this one was really not one of my favorites. It just felt very thrown together compared to a lot of the other ones. Just a lot of random things that you had to do that were a lot of very tedious things. And the big update was just like this Royal Jetpack. I mean, it looks pretty cool. Again, it doesn't do anything other than look cool. And now with the capes, you can't see it anyway. The Sentinel Quad. You get a blue version of that. That and the jetpack were the big reward. And then you can see, you get some titles and decals and banners and that kind of thing. But the Sentinel Quad and the new jetpack were the big rewards for 5. And yeah, like I said, 5 I really didn't like. On to Expedition 6, the Blighted. Now, this one came out with the Outlaws update. And this expedition I liked quite a bit. I was able to run it pretty quick. It wasn't too tough, but it was pretty fun. And the big rewards for this one was the Outlaw Cape, which looks like this. It's kind of ripped up. The Wayward Cube, which is the floating cube, if any of you remember from that glitch that used to be in space stations where a cube was just randomly floating. They gave it to us for a building part, which is actually awesome, and it's kind of fun. And then some flags and posters and a new starship trail that makes your ship looks like it's exploding. But this expedition was good. I enjoyed it quite a bit. And yeah, the rewards are whatever. They're not anything too spectacular, but still a fun one to run. So pretty good. Now, the most recent, Expedition 7, also the most difficult, because Expedition 7 takes place in permadeath mode, or a version of permadeath, you might say. So basically what that means is you'll be able to carry less resources around, and when you die in this expedition, you lose all your progress. So if you make it close to the end, like you're in phase 5 and you only have like maybe 3 things left to do and you take a death, that's it. You lost all that progress and you got to rerun it. So this could be a very, very frustrating one to some people. I personally enjoyed it. I thought it was a good bit different. You know, you had to play differently. You had to think about what you were doing. You had to play a lot more carefully. But overall, I mean, you know, it's not too tough, but to a new player, a brand new player, like if this is your first expedition, this one might be a bit overwhelming as it is permanent. And the rewards for the most recent expedition, Leviathan, which some people are still working on. If you need help, I have multiple guides for it, as well as guides for every expedition, really. But yeah, there's the rewards. Oh yeah, there was also so there was the Starship Trail, and this is actually pretty cool. The Whale Cloak. This is the thing I was talking about. The Organic Frigate Calf, which is kind of a cool building piece. And then the Giant Leviathan, which is the frigate that you put, you know, on your freighter and can run it on missions. So it definitely looks cool, but other than that, not much to it. But I think this was a great expedition. Now, if I had to rate all of them to my favorite, it would probably be the Worm one. I think. Emergence. I don't know. There was just something really cool about that one. I just liked a lot. It was fast. You kept moving. A lot of action. It was a cool one. I don't know. That's just me. You guys let me know what was your favorite in the comments below. And if you haven't yet, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. It really helps out a lot, and I would appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.